Hey all, what's going on? Matt here with another MK1 video, so shortly after my review video. But I wanted to do this. This topic is kind of important to me, and it's talking about the support of MK1, the support of the game from NRS, what they expect from the community, or what they hope, I guess, to get out of the community. But as well as talk about how they're supporting the pro scene, and concerns regarding how they're going to balance the game, as well as just kind of talk about the communication or lack thereof from NRS or WB Games regarding concerns that the community has. Some of these are items I touched upon in my review video. I certainly spent a decent amount of time talking about how the premium items in the store are overly expensive. It's kind of insane. This Melina costume, which I was happy to purchase, I think it's a great looking costume. It's got some great colors, different palette swaps on it. It's a great skin, and I like supporting skins because you can wear them years from now, right? And it may totally change. There may be a character that you're not that fond of because you don't really like how they look, and then bam, this skin comes out that looks awesome, and now they're your favorite character, right? Like, or playing against them with a different skin, like it just kind of livens up the game a little bit. So I'm a fan of skins, but this bundle was 800 dragon crystals, which if you don't have them to, you haven't earned enough and you have to buy them. That's roughly $8 or so, somewhere around there, depending on the bundle of these crystals you buy, right? But 8 to $7 or $6 or something like that, but that's still pretty expensive for a skin. Really, I think all of these prices should be about half of what they are as a starting point. Now, that's especially problematic because, as I mentioned in my review video, you can earn some dragon crystals in game. You get them from leveling up your characters, the main roster characters anyway, and playing through story mode and things like that. But once you do it through that avenue, you cannot re-earn it. There's no weekly quests or challenges where you can earn some. You can't earn some from playing Combat League like you could in MK11 for the time crystals. You don't get them as rewards for ranking up in Combat League. You can't maybe use some of your seasonal credits, the silver seasonal credits, to earn some. There's not just like a pool in the shrine that you can constantly kind of get. Or there's no way to get them in invasions mode. Clearing, weekly challenges through towers. There's no way to get them. And in MK11, while there's definitely incentivized you to purchase some time crystals, and I think I did a few, there was a lot of ways to earn them in game. So while some of the items seemed overly priced, it wasn't that bad because you could at least offset it with some of the stuff that you earn in game. And really, I feel that that's the best approach here, right? Get people playing the game, wanting to play the game, to earn these so that when there are items, they don't feel as gouged, and and then you get people playing your game and supporting it. Right now, this game feels very hollow, and there's a lot of people that are pissed off because the game did kind of come out with a lack of content. It came out in obviously a rush state, and now they want to overcharge you with a currency that you can't really earn in game. So you have to spend more money even though this is a full price title. This isn't a free to play game, right? So people are rightfully upset with that right now, and what really sparked that was this fatality that came out. I mentioned in my review video it was coming out, but we didn't know what the price of it was. This is a single fatality. It's a Halloween themed fatality. It's seasonal. We don't know if it goes away after Halloween. There's no details about it. It doesn't even actually tell you here that it's a fatality. We just have known because people have purchased it and shown. And even it's also kind of a little bit like it's not really promoting the item well. If you look at the top right, you'll see that there's 3 icons that would suggest it's just some sort of a bundle. As far as we know, there's no bundle to it. It's just the one fatality, and it's one fatality every character can do. It's the same fatality. It's essentially a stage fatality that can be done on every stage. I think the fatality itself is nice. It's to me seems like an homage to Halloween 3, which I love. I kind of want to get this, but it's 1,200 crystals. This is so far the most expensive item in the store, and it's a fatality. Fatalities have never been something that they charged in MK. Even in MK11 with the Aftermath update, they released stage fatalities for the existing like launch stages, 2 of them anyway. Those were completely free. They just came with the update. And then every character, even the launch characters, got a unique to them friendship, and that was all free, just part of the update, right? That's what you get for supporting the game, and they're just filling out content and giving you reason to buy the game if you haven't already. This comes off as greedy, especially with the price, right? That's 1,200 is like, if I were to buy that in Canadian dollars after tax and I didn't have the credits to purchase it, that would be $15 for a single fatality, which you're going to watch 2 or 3 times and never want to see again, or maybe revisit it in next Halloween, but that's it, right? Like, it's a fatality. It's not a skin. A skin I will use, right? This is a lot more expensive than the skin. So yeah, I mean, I just think that the pricing on this is out to lunch. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. If you want to purchase and support it, do what you want to do. I don't support it, and I don't think other people should. And it's also just, but it kind of comes down to a lot of the fact, and I'm going to talk about the support of this game and how what I'm seeing from NRS or WB games. I don't necessarily. I'm assuming a lot of the finger pointing should be done at WB, right? They're likely the ones that are going to make the financial decisions on the game, and things of that matter, and have a bigger say than what NRS does. But I also don't know if NRS is just doing what they're told or if they're putting up resistance internally. So I maybe they're both guilty. I don't know, right? But yeah, and yes, right, by playing the game, by beating story mode, by leveling up some of your characters, your profile, you're going to get dragon crystals. But if you look at the price of everything that's come out so far, and there are a couple items in the store that are rotating that are not shown now, you could have easily emptied out all of the stuff, and that's even if you've gotten all of the dragon crystals you possibly could. Mastered all of the main characters up to at least level 31 and got all of them, done everything you could. You would still need to spend money for this at this point. You would have run out of everything you could have bought with dragon crystals, the ones that you earned already, and the game is 5 weeks old? I don't know. I just think that this is kind of insane. I'm expecting that come Monday, they dropped this fatality on a Friday. They didn't even tweet like, hey, this is now available in the store, go purchase it. It seemed like they were expecting backlash. There was already backlash when they announced that a fatality was coming that you would have to purchase. We just didn't know the price of. And already people were screaming that paying for a fatality is nuts. Then they just quietly release it, didn't tell anyone, right? And then everyone just happened to notice it was in the store for a stupid price. And, they knew that there was backlash before. Anyways, I'm assuming that they'll come back to work on Monday and go, oh, okay, guys, we effed up. But, even if they do that, even if they reduce the price, even if they provide ways to earn renewable ways to earn dragon coins in game, again, weekly challenges and invasions through Combat League, whatever. It's not like we won, right? We're all kind of losers here because now our trust in NRS is gone, our trust in WB is gone. There are some people who have right now, I think on PC there's more people playing MK11 than MK1. This game is not off to a good start, right? And I know WB is. It just seems like WB is being greedy and they need money. But you're going to sell more of these if people can justify them. Or you're going to get more people buying the game if the game seems like it's treating players fairly and treating your dollar fairly, and it's not at all right now. So again, I'm sure they're going to come back, they're going to correct it, they're going to lower the price, hopefully give you ways to earn dragon crystals in game a renewable way. But yeah, anyway, so that's one aspect, right? There's another aspect where there's a whole pro scene. I don't really know where to go. I'll go to practice. There's a whole pro scene. And there's I don't remember exactly what it's called. It's not a pro league. It's like a pro competition or something like that. I don't even think it's officially sponsored by WB. It may be an NRS thing. I'm not sure. But the prize pool, like they're not putting a lot of money into it. Now, it's obviously not like Street Fighter 6, a Capcom Cup thing where the number one winner can win $1 million. Like Capcom is really trying to push their esports scene, which is great. And you know, to its credit, Street Fighter 6 is maybe a little bit taken more as a competitively minded game than MK typically is. MK tends to somewhat cater to the more casual single player fan base. So maybe they don't see the need in investing in their tournament scene. But like, take this for example. If you went to ECT, there's I don't know how many 300 people or so that competed. If you don't live in the area, you have to fly in, get a hotel, eat food while you're there. What other expenses, right? You're probably looking at $1,000 just for travel. If you got third place in that tournament, you got $1,000. You made your money back, and that's if, like, to me, $1,000 seems like to do that whole trip for a weekend, fly out there, hotel, eat. I live in Canada, so I don't know the prices of, you know, how much a hotel room and flight is in the States. I know things are cheaper there than here, not even just factoring in the exchange rate, but yeah, I mean, I would feel like you're breaking even, maybe even spending money, and that's to get the third place. Zombat got third place, and he's ridiculous at this game, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. There was a lot of pro players that you typically think of when you think of the NRS scene: Foxy Grandpa, Tweety, Tekken Master, all kinds of players that didn't enter this tournament, right? And Foxy Grandpa specifically said in the Twitter video, YouTube video that he put up, that it wasn't worth his time, right? It wasn't worth his money. If he, you know, unless he won, you know, he's not going to come out making money. So what's the point in going, right? And there may be people like, oh, who cares? It's, you know, and just to say, I didn't say it, but I think first place got 4,400, which is a good amount. But you have to get first place. You have to beat Sonic Fox, right? Like, come on, right? The tournament, and this was the first major tournament, right? For this pro league thing. And who knows if it's going to continue for years to come. The tournament scene for MK is going to die because the pro players, the people that have the chance to earn this money, aren't going to bother competing, because what's the point if they're going to lose money in going, right? And I know there's people that don't care, right? You know, well, you know, there's people that don't care. I, as a fighting game player and as an enjoyer of many fighting games, and I like playing online and watching streams and tournaments and things like that. When I watched ECT, I can't tell you how hyped I was to come back and play this game and try different cameos and try different things, and it gave me things to think about. I was so excited, and all tournaments do that to me. I get so hyped for these, right? And that in itself is motivation to play the game more. It's motivation to buy the next season pass, to buy cool costumes because I'm playing the game so much. If you don't invest in that scene, and the scene dies, it's going to reduce people's motivation to play, partake in the game, and purchase additional content for the game. So I know they may not understand that or think that that's a big, you know, it's an expense rather than an investment. You know, you have to spend some money to make money, right? And I think supporting that scene, quite frankly, having to get third place to hopefully even have a chance at recuperating your money just for partaking, let alone, you know, paying for your time and supporting the scene and stuff like that is a complete joke. I think it's very disrespectful to the players. I just think it's pretty awful, right? And if they had something in the store that said, oh yeah, well, 50% of this goes towards supporting our tournament scene, right? And you saw that. It wasn't just, a blurb on there, but you actually saw that, right? The payouts for all of these tournaments were a lot higher than what they are. Then, I think people would support this a little bit more. I would support it more, right? I like supporting the scene. I like watching the streams. I like supporting it in some way, right? If I can help put in money so that Sonic Fox or whoever wins the next tournament comes out with a little bit more coin and more people can justify going to cover their expenses and the tournaments get more excited because better players are going, yeah, absolutely, I'll put in money, right? But you can't just say, oh yeah, some of our money is going to that. Show us the numbers, right? And show it in the prize pool, right? Like, with how much money is in the prize pool right now, it's evident that they're not at all. Not even close. So, yeah, so those are a few of my concerns. Now, I want to stress, so this premium shop item with this fatality, the community's been on fire since it came out on Friday. Hundreds of YouTube videos, thousands of tweets, lots of engagement. I haven't really seen any major articles picking up on it yet. I mean, there were some articles when it was first mentioned that the fatality would be a premium item, but not once we found out how much it costs. Again, it came out on Friday, so maybe that was intentional. Or maybe they thought by Monday everyone would be, stop caring or whatever. I don't know. But the thing to note is that the community's been on fire. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Ed Boon hasn't come out and said anything about it. Now, his hands may be cuffed. We don't know, right? No one, NRS, the official MK account hasn't come out. Again, they didn't even tell you that this item was live, because I think that they were expecting there to be backlash. WB Games hasn't come out and said anything. There's no mention. And something I noticed the other day, I went to the NRS official Twitter page because I was like, oh, have they said anything? I haven't seen anything from them. No one's posted on that. The last post on that account is a retweet from a tweet that was posted in February of 2022. Dude, there's no one in the community. Like, there's community managers, obviously, because there's people, that update the MK Twitter page or whatever. And someone did update the NRS page because it says, like, buy MK1 now or whatever. But there's no tweets from that page. There's no activity from that page. We need to know what's happening, right? And then it's not just about the store, right? So there's other items that NRS should absolutely be talking about. And this is going to go back to my discussion regarding balance and communication from NRS. And I mentioned it in my last video, that with the last quality of life update, the update that came after ECT, they nerfed Cyrax a bit. Now, they nerfed a bunch of characters. They kind of nerfed damage scaling for quite a few characters, which is fine. I think the damage was a little bit on the high side and it was getting a little bit out of control. I do think Cyrax's chopper cameo assist needed to be nerfed. I mean, in ECT, 6 of the players in top 8 used this cameo. It was overpowered and was taking over the game, right? So I do believe that this cameo deserved to be nerfed. But there were a whole lot of nerfs in that last patch, and there weren't many buffs. Now, my hope is that... Sorry, I'm getting distracted with stuff. My hope is that was first and foremost a quality of life improvement update, as it was. They really did fix a lot and polish a lot of items that needed to be touched, and things that were just missing from the launch game. It was a great update. And again, I do think Cyrax needed to be nerfed. I think some of the damage scaling needed to be nerfed. What they did was essentially try to establish the power or stabilize the power levels, right? Because there was getting a pretty big gap between Cyrax and other cameos, and now that gap is much narrower, right? And there was definitely some of the main roster too. There was definitely some, some very powerful characters, and they nerfed some of them, not all of them. But they, again, they kind of lowered the power level a little bit of everyone and helped balance it out, right? I'm hoping that that was just a measure to kind of stabilize the game a little bit, but that they're really taking it seriously. That the reason that this game is popular to a lot of people right now is because of the gameplay. The gameplay is really fun, and a lot of the people that are having fun with the gameplay in this game were not having fun with the gameplay in MK11. And what a lot of the people in the community have expressed, and I'm going to echo my voice in that, is that if they just keep nerfing all of the characters and lowering the power levels of everyone, the game is going to lose some of its flair. It's going to lose what makes this game fun. And it's going to become bland and boring, and people aren't going to feel strong, and it's not going to feel fun to do cool things with your character anymore, and it's going to be boring. So what the community... Well, maybe I won't speak for everyone, but what a lot of people are hoping for is that, generally speaking, buffs are the preferred way of balancing. You can't buff everyone forever, of course, right? Because then the power level of everyone is just going to get too high and the game's going to become insane, right? And I know NRS doesn't want that. But you also just can't go, like, so for example, Cyrax pre-patch was definitely the most strongest, like without any dispute, the strongest cameo. Kung Lao was second. He was definitely like the second best cameo. They nerfed him a little bit, but they really nerfed Cyrax pretty hard. In my opinion, they maybe nerfed him a little too hard. But that's whatever. That is what it is. But now there's a lot more people playing Kung Lao in tournaments and in Combat League and just in general, right? So now is the next balance patch. Is Kung Lao going to get nerfed? And now, like, the people who didn't get nerfed in this last patch, or maybe needed to be nerfed, are they just going to be nerfed again in the next patch? Like, and then we're just going to kind of keep making everyone boring, right? Because it's easy. Truthfully, it's easier to nerf people than to buff them for balance reasons, right? It's easy to just say, okay, well, these 5 people are tough, or, they're too strong, so let's make them a little bit weaker, and then they'll just be in line with everyone else. Rather than buffing someone else and creating this scenario that you didn't anticipate, and now you have to go back and nerf them because you made them too strong, right? I'm not saying balancing is easy either, right? But it's just, there's a lot of people in the community, and I'm talking like people like Sonic Fox, people like Dragon, Forever King, a lot of like the top players and people that have say in the game, even people that may have worked on the game from a QA level before the game launched, like pro level players, are voicing concerns that they're going to nerf the game too much and not buff characters enough and keep the game fun as it is right now. Again, I'm not saying the last patch was bad. I think it was actually needed. Cyrax needed to be toned down. Kung Lao's hat was regenerating a little too fast, so that's what they slowed down. Some of the main roster characters were doing a little too much damage, right? And stuff like that. I don't think that the last patch was a bad patch. And I don't think a lot of people do. I think what the concern is the next patch. And the patch after that. And there's a lot of people that are concerned and voicing their concerns, and no one from NRS again or WB is coming out and saying, "Hey guys," and this I think is actually more of an NRS issue than WB. No one's coming out and saying, "Hey guys, look, we understand your concerns. This was a quality of life improvement patch first and foremost. We saw the power levels of some characters were too high. We wanted to hopefully lower them a little bit and just stabilize the game for a couple months, let it kind of marinate, and then we're going to observe, and we're going to, do another balance patch where we buff the cast accordingly, and try, and yes, we hear you. We want the game to be fun. We know people didn't like how MK11 was, and some people found it boring because characters felt weak. That's not the game we want here, and it's clear that that's not the game that they want here, right? But their first balance patch didn't show that. And yeah, there's just no one from NRS communicating. There's no one from WB Games communicating, both with regarding the concerns the community has over the balance, regarding the high price of the shop, regarding even what's coming in the game. Like, we don't know what future features they want to add. I'll be honest, even the marketing for this game compared to MK11 was like they really were kind of hands off. They did 1 or 2 combat casts, not that many, especially compared to what they did with MK11. They didn't have that big launch event. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel, yeah, I'm worried about the game, right? And also, as I mentioned, like, it seems like WB is being somewhat greedy, right? They want players to spend a lot more money than they should to support this game, and they're just trying to recuperate all their money. And I think they're taking the soul out of the franchise. And my concern again is when I go back and talk about balancing, I said that nerfing is just nerfing the top characters is easier than generally buffing everyone, and then just maybe slightly nerfing anything that needs it, right? Just so the power creep isn't too high. Because it's easier and less labor to just nerf the strong characters, I'm worried that, again, from my understanding of how game development works, WB Games is paying NRS to do it. So if NRS needs to spend more time balancing, WB isn't going to approve that, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm just voicing my concerns how I see it, and that's basically what this video is. I hope things change, because right now, I mean, I'm definitely concerned where this game is going. I think it's a great game right now. I'm not going to buy that fatality. I think it's cool. It's overpriced though, right? And I don't want to support that. But yeah, and I'm concerned what's happening with the gameplay, because the gameplay in this game is really fun, and I hope they keep it that way. But yeah, first and the last thing, I know, and I'm beating myself to death now, but I just want more communication. I want to know what their intent is, what's going on, what they're looking into, right? Where's the communication? And again, that may be from WB saying, "Oh no, we don't need to spend time. I don't want to pay you to communicate with the community. Let's just take all their money." That's how it feels, truthfully, to me. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what else to say, but if you have any comments or questions, let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback, especially regarding balancing and how you want to see the game be and what you wanted to see it become. Anyways, thanks.